Just be yourself. Just be natural. Think of what comes to you first as you read this script. I'm all right. I'm all right. Nobody worry about me. Why you got to give me a fight? Can't you just let me be?
Do what you like. Doing it naturally. But if it's too easy, they're gonna disagree. It's your life. Isn't it a mystery? It's nobody's business. But it's everybody's game.
You got to catch you later. No, cannonball. It right away. Some Cinderella kid, get up and get you a job. Dip, 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 dip.
Dip, 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 dip. I'm all right. Nobody worry about me. Come on, why you gotta give me a fight? Can't you just let it be? Do what you want. Who are you going to be today? And who is it really? Making up your mind. You want to listen to the man? Pay attention to the magistrate. And while I got you in the mood, listen to your
Yeah, just listen to your own heart beating.
Oh, not beating.
Are you listening to your own heart beating?
Oh, not beating.
Man, don't get me in a moving. Man, you make me feel good. Wow, Cinderella kid. That sounds sick.
Dip, 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 dip. Dip, 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 dip. Doom, 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 doom. Boom, boom, boom. I never knew the word Cinderella Man was in the song, but now we know, so now I can sing along with it.
And I felt like we were, I'm trying to say this carefully, very carefully right now, for all sorts of YouTube reasons. I almost felt like we were reading the lyrics from a CM. What? Cinderella Kid, then give it up.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You're not personally accusing any particular artist, I hope.
No,
just the lyrics. Yeah, right. I got you.
I made it to 2025.
And never realized the hidden meaning.
Warning. Following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Well, hello, everyone. Of course, you are meeting Todd and myself, Spaulding,
the bar downstairs.
Today's episode 8 is not only about pretty much what you just heard, but it's really got to do with a bunch of fools. Folks, before we get into this particular podcast, episode 8, The Fools Downstairs, we want to make a very important announcement. I know we have talked about doing live stream videos of where we're watching, watch along and et cetera when it comes to horror or B classics and all that. I promise you, Todd and I are going to get into that here eventually. It's just, you'll hear later on in this podcast, life happens. And that's pretty much what's going on right now. But we are very excited about doing live stream watch-alongs. So, Todd, do you have a film that you would like to do our very first live stream in your mind that you would love to do the very first time?
Yes.
What would that be?
To do the first one's going to be Student Body, just because it's something we both have seen.
Student Bodies, folks. I was going to, but you know what? We're going to be stubborn. We're going to do a Student Bodies live stream watch along. We'll explain the rules. in more details later, but it will be happening in the very near future. That's
Shit,
right.
there's rules?
Yes. In other words, Todd, we can't show that movie on the big screen. They have to watch it along with us. They have to, click it from their own. And we'll share where you could, if you want to watch Student Bodies again, because I know you do, or for the first time, and you're going to get our reactions, of course. So this will be the first time we do a watch along with you being a part of it. So if you want to be a part of that live stream, I will post it at least in the community section on when that date will be. Actually, now that we're talking about this real quick, I don't want to dwell. I know you have a busy schedule coming up, Todd. You've got Miami with your anniversary. What date was it available? You think you had available for that live stream?
5th.
The 5th?
Next week.
Next week. There you go. Good timing. Next week is the live stream. We're going to do Student Bodies. And I'll try to even remind myself to put a note up on that What the Fuck You Drink Productions on Instagram. Yes, you could find some bits and pieces from the bar downstairs and meet us in the man cave on Instagram on What the Fuck You Drinking, or WTF. There you go. And in the community section here on YouTube. So look forward to that, because come on. I know Jake will probably want to come along and all that, but Student Bodies next Saturday, the 5th. Todd, how the hell you been? And then therefore, let's get to the story of the full day's open. And I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more to it, but
Well, almost hit 80 today. First cut of the grass of the year. Second year with my new mowers. So that was fun, because for the longest time there, I had like 2 different mowers that were the same mowers, so I could get parts out of one, put them into another, all this kind of jazz. So there's some parts of my land that I can't get to because it's like a culvert, kind of like where the around the driveway for the water. And so I have a electric push mower that I got that's really, really good. I'm really happy with it. It's not powered or anything. I mean, it's powered, but it's not like drive. So there's so little stuff for me to do. And then like in the backyard around the raised beds, my wife has raised beds, so I can use it in between those. But so excited to do that. I always think about my grandfather, who he had a cottage out on Indian Lake. He would the old tiller mowers, I think they're called, the ones that just have the curved blades and you got to push them. That's what he used to do his land. It wasn't a very big yard, but he was meticulous about his yard. He would do that, and then he'd go over it with a clips where you could like the scissor clips where you squeeze them. He'd go over it, and just like any little thing that was sticking up. The joke was that you could take a laser and just like go across his yard, and you'd never hit a blade of grass, because, I mean, that's just how meticulous he was. So whenever I mow my yard, it's always a good time to think about art. Anyway, today's topic is a Fool's Day Open, and this actually is something I'm very proud of. I'm
doing good too. So
you what? Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't feel bad.
I do. I'm just worried. I'm so worried about getting everything in, and because this is like, I told you that I was going to drive. How was your week, Scooter?
It sucked. So, you ready?
Michigan lost. There you go.
No,
did you mow your grass?
I was thinking about it, so I got about as far as that today. With a 90-pound golden retriever that I swear, and it's not just me who's stating this, my own mother and father, who used to actually had this dog before me. I've shared this story in the past. In other words, I end up taking over the reins for Dozer. Well, we think he's autistic. He has certain traits, characteristics about him.
Have you had him tested on the spectrum?
After being very serious after having a 20-something-year-old son with autism. I swear to God, those two are a lot alike in certain ways.
Huh.
Very particular. I mean, this dog does not like to have his toys laying around. He has to have them in certain spots.
That's good. That's a good thing.
When he goes outside and taking care of business, he makes sure that it's in certain areas of the yard. It's not in the center. It's all around the fence. So when I got to thinking about, it's almost time to do yard work myself. Got to get the pooper scooper and walk around the
Makes it real easy for you. Unlike my little dogs. They don't do that.
But no, it's I really no. It's been a busy editing weekend, let's just say. And contemplating. Yes, the weather's been. I got my shorts on, the windows. I'm not turning on the AC yet. Yeah. Not gonna do it. I want to give myself at least maybe a month and a half of lower energy bills. Is that? Can I say that? Nah, I probably got in trouble there. Enough about our yard work, because we'll got plenty of. You know what? There is a lot of yard work that's going on to this particular topic for those folks out there who are watching and listening. You know what to do. Smack that subscribe, tickle that little like button, and sniff that bell. And, of course, if you dislike what we're talking about here, then hit that dislike button twice. I guarantee you we'll get notified to YouTube, and they'll punish us. So, remember, hit it twice. Someday they'll catch on. So, enough about the yard work. Let's talk about some yard work on Fool's Day Open. Take it away, my friend.
Okay. So, my wife and I... Again, it's amazing how, and it's natural for human beings to constray events and put them in an order to say that, oh, well, this happened for a reason, or, but anyway, my wife and I asked her to marry me pretty quick because I was 30 years old and I knew I got the right one. And she's just a lovely woman, and I'm very lucky to have her in my life. And we were going to get married further out, but it ended up that her daughter was every 4 years her high school went down to Disney, so that if you were in the marching band, you could go march down Main Street on Disney, or at Disneyland. Is that the one in Florida? I think it's
Disneyland is California. Disney World is
Disney World. So Disney World.
Disney World, Florida, Disneyland, California. Okay.
Right. So it just so happened that for the timing, we decided that why don't we go ahead and move up the wedding? And then our idea was I had a 2-week honeymoon, 1 week in Florida with just her. Famously, the last day got extended because we got to see Kids in the Hall. And then the second week, her mom and dad actually drove down the 2 boys so that they could join us and we could go see, brain candy. Her mom and dad brought down the 2 boys, and so the second week of the vacation or the honeymoon was spent with them because I was marrying them just as much as I was her. So, and the first day of that would be going to Disney World to see the daughter marching. So anyway, that's why we had to move the wedding up. That made the date for the wedding April 8th. Buddies at work were planning. They were like, hey, do you have anybody planning a bachelor party? I'm like, no, not really. I said, but, the last thing I want is naked women. I don't want any naked women. The only person I want to see naked is my wife. It's why I'm marrying her. It just doesn't appeal to me. That type of bachelor party never did. And so one of my buddies at work was like, well, how about if we throw a golf tournament to memorialize your bachelorhood? And I'm like, my buddies, alcohol and golf? Oh, I'm all in. Dad was a big golfer. I golfed a lot. So I'm like, fantastic. So we go ahead, plan it, do the event. Got so drunk, I pissed on the 18th fairway. So it was a success. And went off without a hitch. And I'd like to thank Randy for putting that off for me. So then we had little trophies made up and everything. So the next year came around and it was getting to be April 1st. And we were talking and we were like, let's do that again. We just want to do that somehow again. And so we got together and we did it again with a bunch of guys. And I forget what year. This is where I'm going to have to start checking my notes because I forget exactly what year it was. But there was one year where I'm not going to have my spreadsheet, am I?
See, well, he's doing that. Well, he's looking for his notes. When Todd mentioned, obviously, his bachelor party for the Fool's Day Open, it was April 1st, which was my grandmother's birthday. And he mentioned, like he says, he's looking for notes. This is a good time to add in. I still have my trophy.
That's right. And what was that for?
This is for, and I'm so honored, Todd Memorial Classic, last place. April 1st, 00.
Yep, 2000.
AKA 2000.
So 2001, we all ended up just getting together. A bunch of us got together again and did it. I think we were doing it at Heatherwood at that time. And then the year after that, we did it in 2002. But Randy made these little certificates. They were like fake certificates. I think that was the year that it was the year. Maybe I have the year wrong, but it was when Friendly's closed. There was a Friendly's close to us that closed down. And so what he did was he made a certificate for a free ice cream cone from Friendly's, only good at that location, the one that was torn down. And this was after it was torn down. So get it, Fool's Day, it's a prank. We did that with like a couple of online. There was an online pet store that I forget. It was some pet, not Petco, but they're anyway. So we made a $50 certificate for them. They had went out of business, and it was just a bunch of gag stuff. So then in 2003 comes around, and we were having lunch at Lone Star, which now is no longer around. And we were talking to somehow we talked to the owner about it. The owner was just like really interested in about, what are you guys doing? And so we told him, and then he's like, well, here's a $25 gift certificate. It's real. Just make sure everybody knows where you got it from. And I was like, and then they offered to cater the event. So the first event was actually catered by them. And it was in 2000. So now all of a sudden, Randy and I are looking at each other like, hey, wait, we can go to like Golf Galaxy. We can ask for prizes and stuff for people. This is fantastic. We need to do this. So it turned into an annual event for charity in 2003. And so we officially did 10 of them. The last one is in 2012. We did Hospice of Dayton for the first couple years, and then we shifted in 2007 to the Noble Circle, which was women who are helping women who have had cancer or been through cancer treatment. And about $1,000 would send like one of them through the treatment. So we were able to, we had, I think, the most number of golfers we ever had was 45, but we usually hit around 33. And all of a sudden, you know, we're sitting on something that we ended up shifting it to Sugar Isle, which is out in New Carlisle. And they were very gracious hosts. And we ended up getting Kohler to start doing the catering. They were the same people that did my wedding. So
let's keep in mind how important this particular Golf Isle was for beer drinkers too, because it's a dry county.
It was a dry county, so you brought your own beer. Exactly, which we brought beer and we sold for a donation. So we didn't sell it because that would be illegal. You gave a donation. You tipped your beer, the beer girl, who usually was somebody from, so the people at Noble Circle were really fantastic. This is back when they were just getting started, I think. And then we had a lot of them that were like, you know, this one lady, she had lost her leg to cancer and got through the treatment. She's like, is there anything I can do? I'm like, hey, you can drive the beer cart. And so we always had like 4 girls or 4 women that would like come and help with the event every year. They were very gracious with their time, completely voluntary. We ended up, I think I saw that we totaled about over $5,000 for the Noble Circle, for the 6 years we did it with them. Total when you add in hospice and everything else, it was over $6,700 that we ended up donating to charity. And I'm just very proud that I was able to make an event that was that meaningful to everybody. We had some very special rules, and I think that's where I want to go next. So the Fool's Day Open originally started as an alternative to a traditional bachelor party for me. Randy and I officially started it April 1st, 2000. Since then, Randy and I have kept up the tradition every year for yet another excuse to play golf. Organizing the event and keeping me sane is a big job, and Randy really helped me out a lot with that. And I give him my gratitude for his assistance over the years. In 2002, while looking for donations to give as prizes to participants, the idea came up to do the event for charity. My mother was a cancer survivor before being taken from us in 2001. Seeing her go through the rehabilitation was tough without any guidance. I wish I would have known about the Wellness Connection back then, which ended up being the Noble Circle. They, and more specifically the Noble Circle Project, help women deal with cancer. This event has a dual meaning for me. It's tied to the Noble Project as a way to honor my family members who have been stricken with cancer, and the origin of the tournament reaffirms my commitment to my beautiful wife and my stepchildren for future years to come. It's a celebration of life past, present, and future, and it is my hope that your participation in the event will remind you likewise. That was actually on the website. We actually had a website, foolsdayopen.com. Of course, me being a programmer, I had to have that.
And this was before Wix.
This was before Wix. So now to go about the game a little bit, we have things like closest to the pin. So the par threes were closest to the pin. We gave prizes for that. Longest drive, there were 2 long drive holes. You had to be in the fairway. The money shot. Now, this is something that we had never, Randy actually came up with. Oh, baby, the feeling of making a shot from 165 yards out. There is only one money shot. This particular hole, the furthest away from the green that leaves the ball on the green wins. So, in other words, you take your first shot as a par 4, and when you took your second shot, if you landed it on the green, you got to put the marker where your ball was. And whoever was furthest away, then they would win. We also had shortest drive. You have to make it off the tee box for the shortest drive. And then the winners were the way we did the winners was really kind of fun. It was a scramble, which means everybody takes a tee shot. Whoever gets the best tee shot, everybody hits a second shot, so on and so forth throughout the round. Usually, when you play in scrambles, what you do is the whole team gets one score. What we decided to do was your score followed you. So if you were on a team, everybody on that team had their name on a piece of paper with that particular score. We threw them all into a hopper, drew them all out 4 at a time, creating new teams. So somebody could be on a team that was -2, somebody or with 2 under, another could be on a team 2 over. And you added the scores together to get, and the lowest score would win. So it was really, you could bring ringers, it wouldn't help you out at all because it wasn't done by team. Your team wasn't necessarily the team that you were going to end up with. Alternately, if you weren't a good golfer, you could go in there and be on a team that absolutely just played horrible, 11 over or whatever. But because of the way we mix everything up, you could end up being in first place because you get drawn on a team that had a lot of good people or that had better scores. So yeah, the way we did that was really neat because nobody really cared about the prize money. We gave out prize money to the first, second, and third place, and last place got a penny each, just so we could say everybody wins something, even last place. It made it so that a lot of times people would win and they would just give the money right back to charity because it was like, what are you going to do? It's like, hey, I'm here for a charity event. These people are here. You really feel good about it anyway. Sometimes half of it, sometimes all of it. But we always had some decent prizes, along with, giving out whatever we would like, certificates to Golf Galaxy, certificates to local eateries, that kind of stuff. But we also had the skirt shot. Now, the skirt shot was the one thing that the Noble Circle people actually, those ladies helped us out with. The skirt shot was a foursome shows up at a hole, and the idea was that whoever wanted to give the most money would hit from the ladies' tee. That's originally the way it was written. The first year we did this, there were two ladies there from the Noble Circle. They didn't understand. They turned it into a bidding war, which was absolutely fantastic. So we had a skirt, we had a shirt, we had a hat, and you had to hit your shot with this stuff on. Let me go ahead and start showing pictures.
And while he's getting ready to show pictures, never mind.
By the way, the little guy over here to my left, and I have him on my shirt, this was actually created, I believe my stepson created it. Just a golf ball on a tee with a jester hat and a little smile. This is the logo of the Fool's Day Open. We even had it put on hats. So I've got some hats that were made one year. We had somebody do the shirts and the whole 9 yards. But we also had it on our banner this year. Again, we had Kohler Catering, Sugar Owl Golf, and then the Noble Circle Project. Of course, Kinko's and FedEx helped us make that banner. We ended up getting smart later and made a generic banner, so we didn't have to get a new one every year. This is there are the guys, and that is my father, my stepson, me, Scooter, and our old buddy Tom.
What? I never had a chance to. Wow.
What?
I don't ever remember being invited.
Yes, you were.
Was.
Shut
I'll be damned. Alcohol has ruined my life. No, I'm just teasing.
This is the skirt shot outfit. So this is Tom. So there was just a little pull-up skirt to wear shirt. But anyway, so what these ladies did was they ended up turning it into a bidding war. And I'll never forget we would get more money out of this because we also did a 50-50 raffle. So we did a 50-50. We had all this money just coming in, the money from the beers, everything. That's why we were able to get like $1,000 out of 33 people. Oh, and that's after, because we had the catered, we paid for the caterer, or you paid for your own catering. Kohler didn't donate that. We paid for it. They gave us a good discount. Don't get me wrong. The food is always fantastic. But anyway, so yeah, the skirt shot, there was one year where foursome rolled up and the guy just took out a $50 bill, said $50, that sucker's wearing it. And that was the end of it. So it ended up becoming a shame thing because we would post these stuff online. And if you go to the Wayback Machine, you can look up Fool's Day Open and you can see some of the pictures that we posted. We put everybody's picture up. Everybody that played with us, I want to thank every single person that did. They were and all the volunteers that we had over the years. It was just really, really an amazing thing. Here's some of the volunteers that we had. There was actually one time the other thing that we would do is we would have, there's the food that Kohler brought, which was ribs, chicken, and all the fixings. It was absolutely incredible. But we had
to be honest, this actually was there was a wedding in town, and the wedding was canceled, so we stole the food.
We had sponsors, so like we had the whole signs. The
Skyline was one of them.
Skyline gave because and if you donated money, we put you on a sponsor sign, which is just like a big golf ball that we put on the holes, so like people would see him and know that. But we also would do in memorandum. So like people could, I always had one up for my mom and my dad and my grandparents. So we sold those too. I forget how much we sold them for, but there was one time that we did one for free. We did it because it was actually the lady that first started with us with the Noble Circle, the first person that we ever got a hold of that came out and helped. She happened to pass away. And so we made an honorary one for her. But we would put those up. So we would have those every year. Again, we had the food. There we are with our big check. We had a big check that we could just write on every year, and we gave to the whoever was we were giving money to, donating it, and that was I think it was the Yeah, 1,005. That was the first year we broke $1,000. Somewhere in that same year, 2008, well, one of my cousin's buddies is actually a Drew, and he literally drew the Fool's Day Open. So the skirt shot hat is being worn by me. Randy's in the background. And then there's all these other things. There's Bushwood, Golf Country, which is made to look like Sugar Isle sign. There's different, there's the Fool. The Jester hat is in the middle. It was just, he made this in 2007. And so I'm like, can I have this? Because I want to like put it on merch. So we actually made shirts for it. And I actually still have 2 of them. But everybody that played that one year got a shirt. We only did it for 1 year, I think. Big thanks to everybody that got us into that. And it was, again, it was just a lot of fun. It was it was an excuse to play golf with my buddies and my my cousins. And, I was just real fortunate to, have it in my life. And unfortunately, life gets in the way, and we ended up, it just became too much to do. It didn't take that much time to do, but it was just with kids, with stepkids and everything else. Life happens, and we haven't done it since. Maybe one day I'll pull out the sticks and we'll do it again one time, just because I still have all the stuff. I still have the skirt and the thing for the skirt shot. It was always funny to have that along there, but it was really fun. It was just something nice to do, to have everybody around. I appreciate everybody who ever played in it, anybody who had anything to do with the Fool's Day Open. It was eventually we stopped playing on Fool's Day. That was the other big thing too, right? Because there would be times where we couldn't even get it was so cold. One year it snowed. We had to wait for the frost to get off the greens. So we ended up moving the date. I think it was like the second. It was between, I think it was the weekend after the Kentucky Derby. We moved it to May, and it was like between the Kentucky, there was like one weekend in May was nothing was going on. I think it was Mother's Day even.
Pretty much. Because, yes, the snow. I can remember we had a tradition before we went to Sugar Isle, right there on State Route 235. Right before you technically get into New Carlisle, what is the name of that old town? It doesn't matter. It's right outside of Heber Heights. We'd stop I'm sure if you are familiar with New Carlisle, or that little town I'm trying to remember right now, Melody 49.
Yep.
So we had a tradition to go there before and after if we weren't full
from
the
Melodies.
Melody 49, my bad. But Melodies.
You're thinking the drive-in.
There was a Melody 49s technically down the road from there, which is, my point is, I can remember
been knocked down and now been turned into a sanctuary for Jesus.
Yes. They need it because it's going to be close to the new Buc-ee's. But yes, yeah. Melodies still gets kicking ass service there and customers and et cetera, et cetera.
Best coleslaw on the planet.
I could just remember sitting at Melodies and we're like, okay. You almost felt like a little kid that was like, oh, God, is the weather going to break? Is it going to break? Is it going to break? That's why I just remember that feeling quite a bit sitting there as we were, going to head up there to play golf and all that. But, yeah, there was so many times.
One of my cousins every year would moon me, no matter where I was, because somehow because the way we had it, I would be the first group off, and then Randy would be in the last group off. So that way we could keep everybody under control and going in the right direction and making sure they knew where they go. We had guys that would decorate their golf carts. I mean, there was such a great group of guys. And I mean, it was, and women too. My wife played. It was nice because it was one of the few times you played.
I was one of the women that played.
Yeah. But, no, I mean, it was neat. We always had the little trophies, and, we just did a lot of things that a lot of other events didn't do that we didn't see. And like I say, the biggest thing was that I ended up writing a program so that literally when people came in, they could give me their scorecard. I could quickly put their information in because it took a while, if you could imagine, with 45 people. Everybody putting in little slips of paper, pulling them out. And if we ended up having an odd number on a team, like if you only had like 2 or 3 people, then that fourth person we would put in as a ghost man. And that ghost man would get the same score as your team did. And if you got drawn with the ghost man, well, you got the benefit or the non-benefit of that score. But I've always wanted to do that format again because I think it enforces not bringing in ringers and not giving a damn who you play with, because it just doesn't matter in the end anyway. And
if I could add a little bit to what Todd's talking about here, in case you're, if out of the 3 people that watch us on a regular basis, yeah, you got to start somewhere. If you're wondering, if you yourself play golf, you're like, well, how the hell did you manage to get 45 people? Well, Todd and Randy, and I'm sure others, but we'll use Todd and Randy as an example, as intelligent as they were about it, they decided, well, so many of them would start off on, hole or T1. Then the rest of us would start off on 9 or whatever. So that kept us from all waiting for like someone who's so terrible. And I'll get into that in a little bit, but it just kind of helped everybody start at different parts of the course. You still played 18, but you didn't necessarily start at hole number 1. You may be at hole 8. So yeah, it was pretty simple. And we played best ball too. So Todd, could you explain best ball for people out there that are kind of like, what's that? Or I know, or what?
Like I said earlier, it was a scramble event. So the scramble events, the way that goes is everybody hits a tee shot, somebody picks the best tee shot, and then everybody hits from that spot. So you've got 4, and it's a scramble because you got everybody scrambling around. Because you got to remember, if I'm on a team, if me and Scooter are on a team with 2 other people, and we all hit our tee shot, and we're like, okay, Scooter's the best one because it didn't go in the water, and only went 10 feet. Everybody now has to scramble and go get their ball and bring it back to where Scooter's is, and then we all take our second shot from where his ball was. So it didn't matter how good or bad you were. It was the one thing we never got to do was sell out a course, and to sell out an event like that.
Yeah, it sure felt like it at times.
Well, I mean, again, especially when we were playing in May, not many people play.
This podcast is sponsored by Garbage Disposal, Rendering Sanctuary.
72 people would have sold out an event. That's four people on every hole. Ideally, you want to have
$1 million.
You'd like to have double that, because then you could do 2 groups on every hole, but then you officially sell it out. And what you would do is you would like sell it out for the morning or sell it out. But the guys that the guys that ran the course back then really helped us, and they worked with us a lot. They knew that it meant a lot for us to get off at a certain time so we could get home. It was an all-day event for me. Most people usually, though, I mean, if we teed off in the morning at like 7, you were done by noon, including the dinner and all that other kind of jazz.
And paying off the prostitutes. Oh, that was another time. I need to hit that mute button. Sorry.
But no, so that was it. That was the Fool's Day Open. And then to this day, I have a lot of video from it.
Yeah, before Todd gets to the video, I'd love to share. It'll be really quick because I suck at golf. The very first time I ever played golf outside of putt-putt, I, like anybody else, I'd say from the beginning, you thought, oh, it's like a baseball bat. No. Well, I'm a left-hander. I have to do everything in a right-handed world. Hell, I even play guitar right-handed, but that was my personal choice. But it's not like Todd. Well, you can ask him right now, hey, Todd, are you left or right-handed? I'm sure your answer would be right-handed. Okay. See his hand whispered. Isn't that pretty cool? So I'm out there playing golf. He's trying to show me or tell me the ropes how to play this damn game. So I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible at it. And as I tell this story, I'm sure Todd will remember. I'm trying to play. Now, I could do a lot of things right-handed, but golf, it just never felt natural. Now, baseball, I'm a switch hitter. But with golf, I had to play with right-handed clubs. So in my case, it was always, after swinging at it, after about 8 times, when I finally did connect with the ball, it would basically go to the right. Well, Todd, who's like his dad, is just very good at it. His actually, I want to say dog-legged or hooked to the left. So at this point, as I'm trying to go find my little ball.
That's what she said?
To the right, Todd's over to the left. We've got, basically shrubs, a forest on each side. So we're about, let's say, 75 yards apart from one another. And Todd's just yelling for me to come over, or more or less. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Todd?
No.
Okay. Well, Todd's golf ball was laid right next to a dead deer.
Yes.
And I'm coming over and I'm thinking, holy shit, did Todd just, unlife a deer?
That was not actually during the Fool's Day Open. That was at
Like I said, this
right,
was the first time I ever played golf.
Right. And it was at a golf course called Cliffside, and I had hit off a cliff. So that helped a little bit with the but yeah, that's right. And the deer was still alive. It was still breathing. And so I'm like, what do we do? And Dad's like, get your damn bull, get out of here. You can take a free drop.
And adding a little bit more first time, Todd and I, before we started actually recording this podcast, now I can share it. When I first really, really, really started hanging out with Todd and his parents in the town I live in, which is really close to where I live now, there was snow on the ground. And behind their backyard is a barrier wall where I-70, in other words, their backyard is the interstate, more or less, well, behind their backyard. Well, I'm over there listening to music, talking to Todd's mom, and Todd's probably upstairs on the computer. Most of the time, you can always hear Todd when he's working on his computer. He's banging on the desk. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. That's Todd working on a program. So Dan comes home from work. Let's say it's Friday. He gets a beer. He turns on some music. He goes outside. Like I said, there's snow on the ground. So I go outside. Dan's out there hitting golf balls. Now, Todd will be the first one to tell you, sure, the calendar may say 7 days a week, but Dan tried to play golf 8 days a week. But anyways, I'd go out there. Dan, this is the kind of guy, the first time you meet him, you're like, you want to be his best friend after about 5 minutes after talking to him or him talking to you. Well, anyways, he's out there hitting golf balls, and of course, he's got the pink and the yellow and all that. So I'm just
colored golf balls, right?
Yeah,
easier to find in the snow than white golf balls.
Well, yeah. All right, So I asked Dan, why are you hitting golf ball? It's snow. I mean, He said, Scoop, you want to know why they make yellow or pink or whatever or orange golf balls? And I'm like, why? Of course I'm going to ask that question. And as I'm done asking a very simple response or why, he hits it, practically knocks it on 70, so you can see the fucking balls when you hit them in the snow. That for me is kind of like a very first little moment that I had with Dan.
So
it related to golf.
There was a time that we went to West Virginia where he was born, and we went out and we were with my uncle, his brother-in-law, and we always did crazy shit. We went out and did night golf. So night golf is a ball has a bunch of dimples on it. Imagine if you drilled straight through one dimple, straight through the ball to the other side. Okay? And it's a clear ball. The ball is clear. And then you take a glow stick and you snap it so that it glows, and then you put it in to the golf ball. So you have basically a golf ball with a little glow rod in the middle of it. So at night you can see where it goes. I could always crush a drive. I mean, I think I went to my dad's end of year golf league party and won the longest drive contest at 17.
You should bring up Kitty Hawk.
Oh, I will. So then we ended up, the one thing that you got to remember, so we only played like 2 holes because they were right by there. Nobody else is there anyway. Nobody cares. It's West Virginia, pretty much. I'm sitting there and I hit. The one thing you need to do is when you set that ball on the tee, you don't want to hit the rod. So in other words, if the ball's here and the rod is here and you're going to make impact here, you don't want to hit that glow stick, because what will happen is the glow stick gets pushed out of the ball. So I come down and I put this, and I hear the ball go. I knew I hit a good shot, and I see this. It was the glow stick that it fell out of the ball. Ended up finding my ball. That's how good I was at knowing where I hit the ball. Now, Kitty Hawk, I think I was 13 years old, playing with my father. I think it was the 16th hole. It was a golf course called the Kitty, still there. Little par 3, My dad and I are playing, and I hit the ball, and I had no idea where the hell it went. Dad's like, "Did you see it?" I'm like, "I have no idea." So he's like, "All right, well, we'll go look for it." 13 years old. He's like, "Damn it, kid, you're supposed to watch your ball. Where you go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you're here for, Dad." Trying to walk around, trying to find this ball. Finally, my dad, I don't know why, he went up on the green and looked. And he's like, "Todd." I'm like, "What?" Look. Ball was in the hole. Hole in one. Dad got pissed. I'm like, "Dad, why are you pissed?" "I never seen nobody hit no damn hole in one. I've never hit no damn hole in one. Here you are, 13 years old. You hit a damn hole in one. You're carrying my bag the rest of the way. Damn it. Let's go."
Yeah,
which was for 2 holes, and he was kidding. But so then the funny part is, I take my stepson, my youngest stepson, I take him to the same golf course. He's 13 years old. Same golf course. And we're playing 18. We get to that 16th tee box. Lightning starts. They close the course. And I looked at my stepson, and I'm like, my dad doesn't want me to have another shot at this damn thing.
and to be fair, anytime I could, we'll think with that Fool's Day Open, if Todd was having, sadly after we all lost Dan, anytime that Todd was in a bad day, he's like, "Yeah, Dad's just not. He's not wanting me."
Yeah, he just doesn't want me. He doesn't want me to try this shot again.
So yes, I selfishly, that was so hard for me. Imagine, shocker. I would take a flask, So there was a certain hole every time I got there. I would pour a beer, and this one's for you, Dan. Take a Coors Light and
yeah. Sugar All has an island green on back. I don't know what hole it is now. I think they moved the holes around, but back then it was number 18, and it was always fun to watch people take that shot that closest to the pin.
Yeah.
But anyway, so one of the things that I did do, and I'll share this up, because it was on the web, and I started getting into doing little stuff on video. I ended up doing little trailers. And of course, there was a theme here. This is before I got into video. And I'm just going to make comments over it so that it'll be harder for the algorithm to tell. My favorite part.
I have my mic off anyway, so.
This next one is probably the favorite one. And this is recognizable, so I will talk to it, but these are, we always videoed people. We had a lot of video. That's Randy. That's his buddy. It's the ball just goes off the tee. There, my stepson. This is back when we did it at Larch. Any idea for a trailer, I always had it, and I always put it up on the web. Just because he was wearing Old Navy. Always ended with the laugh. And I got one more.
Oh, and while Todd's doing this, I'll go ahead and put in an ad right here real quick. We were talking about our lawn care services earlier. If you yourself are looking for a professional lawn care, you could trust TBD. Yeah, that's right. TBD, aka the bar downstairs. Your first application is free. When you sign up for a lawn care program, scan or call 1-800-967-5309. That's right. 1-800-675-309 at the bar downstairs lawn service. Get your 13th lawn cut somewhat off 1/4% of half a cent. That's not free. Check it out on www.lawncareservice. It's free for cutting all kinds of green stuff.com net. And back to the program.
I loved this one.
Thank you for being a friend.
These are all the skirt shot people.
Back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party,
That's awesome. Okay, do you have anything to say about this? No?
you would see the
They will pay.
Okay.
They will pay.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a friend.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it every year, but I'd do it as much as I could. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole story. There it is for Prosperity, the Fool's Day Open.
You know, I got to say something right now. I've got to get into a habit here, folks. I try my best to put myself on mute because I'm trying to train myself. And I'll put it on mute. And now it's to my left. And I start talking and I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm trying my best not, but I figure I'm timing it right. And Todd's like ignoring me. I'm like, oh, he's not ignoring me. I'm on mute. I forget what the fuck I was going to say now. Who gives a shit? No, one of these days, maybe when we go down this rabbit hole again, maybe Todd could find, because I know I had some footage too but it's a little bit longer. It's not, you know, designed for a website, little shorts and all that. So, but, cause there's some footage of Randy and Todd probably, yeah, we could see them at their best. Of course, Dan but the music, you know, I don't give a shit about the copyright stuff. So hopefully Todd could find that video someday.
Oh, I've got it.
Well, while Todd is looking for some more footage on the Fool's Day Open, we've got some more sponsorship here. All right. Important notice. Please call us today at 937-867-5309. We are professional investors who are working on your area buying homes for cash. That's right. We are wanting to buy your home for cash. Where are you going to live? Well, you could still live in your home, but we're going to charge you 3 times as much as what you're paying now. But don't worry. We'll take care of all of the responsibilities. You're just going to have to fucking pay for it. So we will buy your house as it is. No inspections, no commissions, no hassle, and we'll close it fast. That's right. So let us buy your house. You can still live there. It's going to charge you 3 times as much, but don't worry. We'll take care of all the hassle. That's 1-800-937-867-5309. Call us now.
Beer. Beer.
Okay, here we are. Full Day Open. 2002.
There's your
So long
cousins.
since I've seen this.
Yeah.
This is Sugar Isle. There's the hat.
Randy Shy.
There's Dan. A stepson gave him a trick ball.
Yeah.
On the line, the 1995 Masters title in 2002. Got the hat. Got that. Ooh, it's
pink fucking ball. Yeah, she'd be proud.
Yeah, that's a cartonus. Or no, that wasn't his hand trap. Good. Here's that swing. There you go. There's the master.
You suck.
Yeah.
Man, I can cook on a George Foreman grill.
Oh, this makes me miss it so much. Never leave it short. Never leave it short. What that's telling. I was just setting it up for him, showing him the line. That's why we always let Dad putt last, because everybody else was showing him the line. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, on that 18th hole, he always got us there.
Yeah, he would put us on the island.
Yeah.
18th hole.
That's Dan we've been talking about.
Mikey! Guess what? Right here!
God, the technology we have today, if we only had
replaced his regular beer with Senka.
In the hole.
Good timing.
No.
Now what's that?
Or no, yeah.
Bud
Closest
Light
to the hole.
presents Real American Heroes. Today we salute you, Mr. Putt Putt Golf Course Designer.
This is some of your best first work.
Through the magic of AstroTurf and animatronics, you've taken the time-honored game of golf and made it fun.
That is the 18th hole.
They said a 3-foot putt wasn't a challenge. So you added windmills. While lesser men wasted time with fairways and sand traps, you had visions of fiberglass volcanoes and giant clown heads. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Putt Putt Golf Course Designer, because you and I know that a round of golf should always include Indian teepees. Mr. Putt Putt Golf Course Designer. Bud Light beer, St. Missouri.
You know what's great about playing golf? Well, wait a minute. This is not going anywhere. Cut.
Sadate.
Booty tank reference.
Yeah. As you can see, there's certain things that don't change. There's priorities.
No.
Yeah. Threw it in there and actually hit a can and burst it.
Or you can slay it on the side. Somebody else's house. It's good to go.
Oh, God, that little fucking car was great on gas. Oh.
That's like I'm a wreck. Get in the hole!
God, I miss black and white. Since I just recorded what I said, I meant black and white viewfinder.
Hey, look over there.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody laughing point. Laughing at him for hitting it in the water.
Hi. Nice drive.
Why is our voices? Well, never mind.
John's got off the sassy hat.
That's me. It didn't even sound like me.
Oh, look, his fly's open.
That actually is where we're getting moved. Yeah.
You're talking about that earlier.
It happened every year.
It's okay, but it's in memories. Video. Oh, I love the little sports icon. It's actually somebody playing golf on here. I just now noticed that at 20 holes.
Oh, this is classic.
That's why I decided to gain weight.
So once again, this is everybody hitting for the same shot. This is a scramble. So you put a tee down or something, and everybody has to be within, like, I don't know, 2-3 feet, whatever. Close enough. It's actually a decent drive.
Every time I watch that as editing it, I'm like, fatigue, the confusion. Oh, wait, so no one can hear me.
Oops. I think this is on 18. Yeah, this is 18.
Yeah, it is.
Boop.
Todd trying to direct me. I knew what the fuck I was doing. Can't golf, but I could hold a camera. Did Randy get it on?
I didn't see a splash.
So you're not old enough to watch this.
Somebody making sure that they did not. You still got to mess with the island. There you go.
In seriousness, we're not just saying this, but Dan always got us there on the island.
He was really good.
I like that shot. That's somebody you need to get in touch with, is Randy. It's a sign.
Look at that. Closest to the hole.
And you were mentioning earlier? Okay.
This is Crane. I'm looking
Now,
at you. You are green, so you can hide.
Not disrespecting millennials or G.
You're a tramp. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, that was right where you wanted.
We quoted
Mrs.
this
Crane. You're a little
so
monkey
many
woman,
years.
you know that? You're a little monkey woman. You're lean and you're mean and you're not too far between.
Caddyshack is absolutely classic.
Would you like to wrap your
Caddyshack 2 should have never been made.
Damn your eyes.
But that's it.
I told you to cut the long grass on the 13th and to move the practice green.
I was unavoidably detained.
Hey, you can forget about the 13th and the practice green. I've got a more important job. I want you to kill every golfer on the course.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key.
Golfers! That's green, kid, not golfers. The little brown furry rodents.
We can do that.
Hey!
We don't even have to have a reason.
Do it, man.
All right, let's do the same thing, but with gophers.
Rush!
pause for a second? The reason why it's Todd, pause. When you're working on anything and you want to expand it and you're trying to basically fill in the holes, this is what I was doing right now. Because I have more footage and I'm like, we got a lot of footage of people driving the golf cart. Man, I can't help but think there's just this relation to vacation, National Lampoon Vacation and Caddyshack. It doesn't take much to figure it out, but I'm like, this will fit. I've got tons of golf cart footage. Let's put it in there. And that's why you're seeing this shit. Todd, I don't know if you ever knew that, but that's why I did it.
That makes perfect sense. And this was in 2002, so this isn't like, it's not like back when we, like nowadays when you have like your cell phone and you can take video. This was all, we had to like actually take video cameras, so there wasn't too many of them around. Yeah. There's that tunnel underneath the road to get to the other, I think there's like 4 holes on the other side. Usually that'd be number 1.
Yeah. Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. When you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup.
There's Nobody's. Love this song. The theme to Caddyshack 2, still by Ken Loggins.
Mr. Trout somewhere. I don't know. Am I missing this?
I always like playing in scrambles because I could hit the ball really far a lot, but sometimes it would hook. But in a scramble, as long as I knew I had a safe shot, I could let it rip. I could put a good poke on it. Still can. That's what I got to do this year. I got to play more golf with my grandson.
Gotta drink more.
Now that one's not actually a proximity shot. That proximity, I think, that was the money shot. So that's how close I got it to the pin. Think. Don't leave it short. Don't leave it short. Don't leave it short. Don't leave it short. That's a good lag. Lag is how far you leave it from the hole. You always in a scramble. If you're ever in a scramble, and you, especially if you putt first, you never want to leave it short because you want to see. you want to make sure that other people can get a read of the green. In other words, how the ball's going to roll. I'm so glad you did this, Scooter. Really nice to see this all again. 23 years later. Nice. That was my cousin. The crowd smacking him in the face. Scooter! Damn daddy hat.
Lodestar. That's right. Dix was always. That's right. Oh God, Southern Comfort. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Oh yeah, this is back when we were like giving like, yeah. Here's what you got.
Oh, yeah, let it. I remember Tiger Woods at the end here. Yes, Tiger Woods joined us. Oh yeah. This is what happens when you edit. You remember all your edits. But anything else? I don't know.
Yeah, your ass. That's before we had the logo.
Yeah. And I just got to get so much up because I don't like dwelling on me on a lot of shit. But as an editor, it's amazing how you learn so much. Granted, you work with what you got, but as I'm watching that, I'm like, wow, those fucking goddamn transitions. Why?
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
You were new. I mean, it was something new. You got into it, and, you know, the ability to hear, 23 years later to see my dad. I kept myself
that's
from
the
tearing
most
up.
important thing.
But
yeah, that's why I was trying my best not to say anything because that's what it's all about. It's the memories, and it's always great if you can hold on, get that footage, boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'll about do it.
Yep. All right.
I think we've milked this for as long as we can. Thanks everybody for watching. If you made it this far,
if you had, but the great thing of it is, it's here. I don't know. I'll try to tease a little bit of, you know what? It is what it is. I'll try to figure this stuff out. I'm thinking out loud right now and try to tell because I've been editing so much today. So right now, what I'm saying to you folks, you're getting an extra benefit of me thinking out loud as an editor. This is shit you wouldn't normally hear if you're watching. But this part, I would love for you to hear because Todd and I have a very special, we have a very special message for you. I don't know. Alrighty. I was trying so bad to do a Bob there. It almost worked. Bob Nelson. Todd, we started off with this podcast with a very special script, and I'd like to end it with a very special script. And I think it's a positive feeling. It's a positive message, and I'll start off by just simply saying, jump. You should know that Crisscross is not having anything today. We stand there totally crossed out. We commence to make you jump. The Mac Daddy'll make you jump. The Daddy Mac'll make you jump. Chris Cross'll make you jump.
Don't try to compare us, to another bad little fad. I'm the Mac, and I'm bad. Giving you something that you never had. I'll make you bump, hump, wiggle, and shake your rump. Because I'll be kicking the flavor that makes you want to jump. How high? Real high. Because I'm so fly. A young, lovable, huggable type of guy. Everything is to the back with a little slack. Because inside out, it's wiggity.
Whack. I wanted to say that.
I come stomping with something pumping. These are kids. Get this. To keep you jumping. R&B rap is bull crap. Hey, now. I'm dumping. Ain't nothing soft about Crisscross. We all dat. So when they ask, do they rock? Say believe that.
Jump.
The Mac Dad'll make you.
Jump.
The Daddy Mac will make you.
Jump.
Crisscross will make you.
Jump. Jump.
The Mac Dad'll make you.
Jump.
The Daddy Mac will make ya.
Apparently, jump and jump.
Crisscross will make Jesus Christ is getting fucking.
You know what? Fuck this shit.